fortunate, worthy of the attention of source at all times being that you are. A coach that never criticizes and sees no flaw in you.
So the unconditional love for myself, I just kind of want to wrap it up on this part.
So let's talk about what the unconditional is that we really mean in this scenario.
I wanted to say it in my words, though, to make sure I'm...
You're not even
really
going to come close.
grasping it.
You're not even going to come close.
All right.
Because you just led us out here on the leading edge to something that you want to consider that you never have before. So we'll go first and then we'll hear.
Yes, ma'am.
So, unconditional, in the sense of what we're talking about here, means it would be proportionate to mentally throwing the ball, but not physically needing to pick one up. It would be about, and that's a sort of scanty basis. We'll give you more.
I got you.
We'll give you more.
No worries.
It's like unconditional means finding the feeling and that being everything. Conditional is, okay, I'll find the feeling, I'll work this out, and it will produce these results. But now you're twirled up in the results, and since the results haven't happened yet, you're introducing resistance into the equation, and now you're in a state of resistance, so it can't go where you want it to go. So unconditional is caring singularly about the emotion that you have the ability to produce without needing results. So let's just call the condition the physical result, the physical manifestation, the person showing up in a relationship, or the money showing up in your bank account, or the improvement in your bodily condition. Those are conditions over which you really don't have immediate control.
Sure.
You have eventual control, but not immediate control. So if you will exercise unconditional alignment, meaning alignment for the sake of alignment, not for the alignment for the ulterior motive of improving the condition, now you're unconditional in your alignment, and now the conditions all have to improve. Can you hear it?
Sure. And I feel like I understand that more and more, and viscerally I'm actually practicing it, where I really don't care about the manifestations, because I understand I already have momentum rolling in a lot of directions I want to be headed in.
Let's say that better.
Oh.
I care about every one of those manifestations.
Okay.
I just don't need to take score right now because I'm wise enough to know they are evolving and will appear at the perfect place and the perfect point and the perfect time and the perfect...
Okay, so here's my question then.
In other words, right now, I don't care about the absence of them because I know the absence of them is not a permanent condition.
It's temporary.
That's different than saying I don't care, isn't it?
Okay,
I don't care about the absence of them because I know that the absence of what I want is a temporary condition.
Yes.
And in my absence of angst about it, I'm producing an atmosphere of allowing that is the path of least resistance, which is going to produce the conditions that I want.
Yes.
Isn't this interesting? I have to be unconditional in order to get the condition.
So my question is, what is those outside people's things relationship to me in my unconditional realm? My understanding is, wait, let me real quick.
They're coming as a response to a vibrational condition that you've got going on. Nobody ever shows up that's wrongly placed.
I get that.
So they are evidence of something that you want to let go further off. I mean, we're talking about universal laws here. The more it feels like you need to wrestle it to the ground or explain it or teach it or talk it, or the more that's the wrong direction. That's not the path of least resistance, and you know it. You know it. Don't you always get twirled up in stuff? Esther loves that song, I should have just gone to bed. Should have just gone to bed. Shouldn't have tried to talk it through. Shouldn't have tried to explain myself. Shouldn't have tried to figure it all out tonight. Shouldn't have tried to go to a place that I'm vibrationally not ready to go. I should have just gone to bed.
Okay. And the crutch of it is, every single time, no matter what, unconditional versus conditional, only and always has to do with your relationship with you. Unconditional love is about loving yourself so that you then could choose to love someone else if you wanted to, or do something else if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But ultimately, unconditional unconditional love is only about your connection with you.
All
It's
right.
not about a connection with anything
All
else.
right, so now that's 2014 conversation. Now we're in
Okay.
2015.
Wow.
So let's have a new conversation about this from a new point
Please.
from a new point of understanding. So let's talk about momentum, and let's talk about path of least resistance, and let's talk about conditions. So would you say that there are some things that have already manifested that are pleasing conditions that offer no resistance to you whatsoever? In fact, they enhance your experience.
Absolutely.
So do you want to be unconditional?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Do you want to be
Oh.
unconditional?
Well, yes, this is where I get confused
Well,
because
here
you're
we're
telling me about.
we're going to clear it up
Oh,
right
thank
now.
you very much. I love you. Thank you.
So, if you're understanding momentum and you're understanding path of least resistance, and we began today by talking about the momentum that comes from non-physical. Oh, what a path of non-resistance. In other words, you ride in on this current of really powerful well-being. So, this path of least resistance and the momentum of this path of least resistance. So let's say you are acknowledging a condition. A condition. Abraham says I should be unconditional.
Yeah.
But wait, this is a condition that has no resistance within it.
Okay.
This is a condition that enhances. This is me rampaging in appreciation.
Okay.
This is me acknowledging the positive aspects of something.
Okay.
This is me benefiting because I'm aware of the path of least resistance. I'm not trying to change a condition to feel
Okay,
good.
okay.
I'm acknowledging the momentum of conditions that do feel good. This is,
I get it.
but feel the distinction when you
Yeah.
need a condition to change that isn't changing because you're acknowledging it right where it is. In other words, we want you to give your attention to every condition that pleases you, that promotes
Okay.
your alignment,
Okay.
and that dovetails with who you really are, and get your eyes off of those conditions that you think you need to change in order to feel better. Did you hear that distinction?
Yes.
That is the most significant distinction that
Yes.
we have ever expressed or that you have ever heard.
Nice.
Because it's not about, that's why we say there's no one right answer, there's no one right lifestyle, there's no one right. In other words, all of you are right. Every person that you've ever disagreed with about anything is right because their perception is what it is. They've built the rightness in through their perception. But you've got within you a guidance system that knows who you are and who you're being and is giving you feedback about that. So if it feels really good, acknowledge the condition. If it feels bad, give it up. Always take the path of least resistance. Path of least resistance.
Okay.
Which leads us to something really important to say. So, you're going to like this. So let's say, just follow us in this scenario. It's going to feel off the subject, but it's right on topic.
No problem.
So let's say that you are acknowledging the behavior of another person. And their behavior is not pleasing you, not one bit. And you know it when you saw it, you know it when you think about it, you know it when you keep thinking about it, you know it when you're telling somebody else about it. But the more you talk about it, the more momentum it gathers.
Yeah.
Until there's almost something satisfying about talking about it. Because they agree with you, this person is really out of line. And there's something sort of nice about being validated by other ornery people about this bad behavior. So now we just want to say that there is a sort of path of least resistance because it's easy to keep complaining. And in fact, it's easier to keep complaining than to stop. You got that momentum going, and now this other person's involved with you, and you really got it going on. But we want you to feel that even though there's momentum going, and even though it feels like the path of least resistance, because now you're remembering all the terrible things they did. In fact, you're remembering other people that did other similar terrible things. Now the conversation's broadening to all kinds of stuff. Lots of momentum is going on, and it feels like the path of least resistance. But the way you feel, you're getting more uncomfortable uncomfortable, it's feeling more unpleasant, you're getting angry, you're getting all worked up about it, because you've diverged from the path of who you really are. But there's no possible way that you can get back on that path right now, because vibrationally, you have blocked that path for yourself. You see what we're getting at? So that's why we say, have a little bit of doubt before it starts. In other words, you want to wake up and join that path. You want to reach for the things that feel good. It's the momentum of your alignment that you're really reaching. So we've said this to you, and to all of you over the years. If you will not try to fix things in the middle of your awareness of the problem of them, it'll go better for you, because there's so much resistance already going on, and it will feel tricky to you, because it feels like the path of least resistance is going with the flow of the negativity, and it never ever is.
Sure.
The ultimate path of least resistance never feels bad. But here's something that is noticeable of dear humankind. You would rather feel the momentum of negative emotion than no emotion at all, because you believe in the momentum that you're getting something done. We want you to reorient that flawed premise, because nothing good ever comes out of negative momentum. But then you feel like you're sort of in a trap, because you can't get there from there. The momentum is there, and at least you're alive, and at least you got somebody to talk with, even though you're complaining. And so you just have to sort of make a decision that you care about the way you feel, and that feeling good matters to you most. And then do your best to withdraw from the need to control conditions you can't control, until you teach yourself, like that intellectual thing you were talking about, you teach yourself what you can control, which is the way you feel, and then just get good at it.
Okay.
And you'll get better and better at it. You'll wake up and you'll feel better longer. And somebody who usually takes you down another momentum road, you'll find the universe pairing you up with them less and less. You'll find those conversations being less and less satisfying. You'll notice the momentum, the negative momentum, the moment it gets started, so you won't get swept up in it. You'll gain more control of the way you feel. And that's what you've been doing all along. So sorting out this conditional and this unconditional love thing, this unconditional thing that we're wanting you to understand, in a nutshell, we can say it very succinctly. Focus on any condition that enhances your good feeling. And don't try to control any condition to try to fix something that's broken. That's the best way to sort out the condition and the unconditioned. Esther sat out on her porch in rapture at the beauty of things that she saw. And then she wanted to argue with us just like you did. Abraham, these are conditions that I'm focused upon. That's a condition, and that's a condition, and that's a condition, and that's a condition. And I feel wonderful. And we said, Esther, you felt wonderful before you focused on the conditions. The reason those conditions look so good to you is because you were in an unconditional state of alignment. You were in pure alignment with Source. You weren't trying to make anything happen. You were in a neutral place of non-resistance. And in that state of non-resistance, you hooked up with the whole of you, and your ability to appreciate went through the roof. And yes, you began focusing upon conditions from your place of alignment. So you've been hearing us say this for a long time. Get into the vortex and then. Get into alignment and then. So path of least resistance, if something is uncomfortable, withdraw your eyes from it. If something is beautiful, give it your undivided attention. If something tastes good, eat more of it. If it tastes bad, eat less of it. Move toward what feels good. Move away from what does not feel good, until you show yourself that you have that kind of discernment. And then watch what the universe yields to you. The subtle nuances and the details, the perfection, things that you even forgot that you told the universe you want, will show up with such perfect timing that you will feel, once again, that blessed, fortunate, worthy of the attention of Source at all times being that you are. approach that never criticizes and sees no flaw in you, only knows the perfection of you and the potential for your realization of it. Good.
Yeah, one more quick thing. Well,
And the details. And are you refreshed? Good. Now what? Oh, wait, it was the other. Make yourself comfortable with that.
Close enough? A lot of love to you. I am stoked. I can sit here and say, I got it. I have got it.
Next.
Yeah. I had that for years. Get the knowing of it and shore it up, or I can go for a walk on the beach.
Well, let's take thought beyond.
It's the wave. It builds up, it gets so wow.
We like that word, wave, momentum.
Momentum.
Momentum. When you maintain a frequency without introducing resistance, momentum becomes more and 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 more. It's exhilarating, isn't it? Yeah.
Exhilarating.
Yeah.
In that, I feel like I'm breathing in the universe, and it almost feels like, I walk around the house, can't get the grin off my face, spontaneous laughter, joy, self-love. And that's a big thing. I suddenly realise it is that joy of loving myself.
We don't know of a way to induce that feeling of worthiness, which is what you're describing there, that is easier than to understand the laws, deliberately choose thought, pay attention to how the thought feels, recognize the momentum, and then watch the logical manifestational results of that. There is no greater way to understand your worthiness than to allow the blessings that are queued up for you to be realized by you. Because words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there isn't anything that makes you feel less worthy than when you pinch yourself off and then assign the pinching to someone else. I don't understand why you're not letting me have what I want.
Done that for a while.
Only you. So now what?
Well, I can appreciate when I got sick of you telling me it's easy. I was going to stop telling me it's easy, and now in the ease, wow, it's easy.
When you are a really good athlete, let's say you play tennis. It's one of the few sports you have that Americans understand. And you're good at it. Do you seek an opponent who you can whip every time? Or do you like something that evokes from you something more? So, of course, you're always reaching for that ease. But isn't it nice to have something to reach for?
Yeah.
And what you're going to come to understand, if you don't already, and some of you do know this, is that it is not more difficult to create a castle than it is a button. It's just a matter of identifying your desire and then believing it. And so it becomes easy once you get the laws. The object of your attention becomes irrelevant. Once you understand, that you get to choose, and once you understand that you can align with it, and once you know how to prepare your grid, and once you're able to watch for the signs that let you know whether you're in alignment and allowing or not, now there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. Well, we want to say that in a different way. There has never been anything that you could not be or do or have, but when you know it, that's when you start allowing yourself to experience it. So what do you want to talk with us about?
So in that, I suppose in that place, it feels so high flying, and sometimes it's like, whoa, I just got to settle down a bit. Or people see you and think you're on drugs. It's like, whoa, I've got to get a balance here.
You get to control that. You get to control the gap between your desire and your allowing. And so the closer you are to alignment with what you want, then the calmer it feels. It's all about maintaining your own momentum, making sure that you're up to speed. We've been offering for a while an analogy. It came with our conversation about one of the processes that we offered, which was the focus wheel process. But we talked about the merry-go-rounds on the playgrounds, and when the kids have one really going fast and you want on, sometimes you can't get on because it's going too fast and you just can't get on, and when you try, off in the bushes you go. But if they will slow it down and then let you on and then you speed it up, then you can enjoy the increasing of the momentum. But recently, Esther has discovered for herself an image in her mind that it's like whatever she's doing grid-wise is like that merry-go-round that is spinning it. It's gaining momentum. So she is discouraged. She's on a merry-go-round that is in that vibrational arena. And in her discouragement, only others who are discouraged can get on with her. So even though she would like high-flying, happier, more productive, more efficient, more effective to get on with her, they can't get on because that's not where she is. So what you may begin to recognize is that you have control over where you hang around. And the more you deliberately focus your thoughts and allow your vibration to naturally rise as it will, then once you begin maintaining that higher frequency, then more of the things that you have been wanting and more of the things that have been spinning in your vortex can then flow easily into your experience. So it's nice to kick back and have some ease, and it's nice to rev things up. We are not encouraging you to hit the floor running every day. We want you to have ease, but we also want you to have momentum. And what so many people are doing is they're gaining momentum and then they slow it down. And it's the discomfort of bringing your momentum. It's like a train that's going 100 miles an hour that way and you want it to go 100 miles an hour that way, but you don't want it to happen suddenly. You really want it to slow down and then speed back up. So law of attraction is managing all of that for you. Want to talk about something specific?
It's just life in general, my stories of where I want to be and feeling I know what's coming. I know the expansion of where I'm going by my story.
And yet there will be constant surprises and delights, yes?
Yes.
Because you have a vibrational awareness of what's coming, but the details of it you don't know, not necessarily. So, do you like to try to fill the details in?
Yeah.
And what do you think the benefit is of defining the details that you would like to unfold?
Details that feel good.
Yeah, for sure. Does it tell the universe what you want?
Yes.
Or have you already done that? I've
already done it.
So what does talking about what you want in detail actually do for you vibrationally?
Shores up and knowing of the place I'm in.
It causes you to practice the vibration that allows the details to occur to you. Are you beginning to get the sense of this? Sometimes as you're thinking about deliberate creation, you think, well, I'm here and what I want is over there, and so I'll just figure out some way to bring that to me or to get me to it. And we would like you to begin to understand that you've already done the creating. The creating is already complete. You've got enough going on in your vortex to keep yourself busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. So now, as you practice the art of allowing, as you reach for more and more thoughts that feel increasingly better and better, and as you maintain that higher frequency longer and longer, the grid fills in, and the grid fills in with the manifestations that you all have been assigning to yourself as your job. We want to back up and say that again because we really want you to hear this. Sometimes
you think that in order to get your vibration in the right place, that you need to think about your goal, talk about your goal, get really good at articulating it, talk about how much money you want and what you will do with it when you get it. Sort of like you're telling the universe, this is what I want, so don't forget about me. And we want you to understand that every minute you spend verbalizing, imagining, envisioning, that's not your time of identifying what you want. You already did that in step one. And that's not your time of making it happen, because Source has already gathered all of the cooperative components. That's already done too. But every moment you spend envisioning or articulating or talking with others, those are moments that you're spending practicing a grid that puts you in the place of then being open-minded and in a place that you can receive the awareness. So then those ideas begin to flood into your mind, and you say, I have a really good idea, and you think that you've conjured the really good idea, and in essence you have conjured it, but it came from your vortex that's already conjured. Are you getting the sense of what we're talking about? Your path to the money you want, your path to the lover you want, the path to everything that you want has already been defined. You're just wanting to put yourself in a place where you can receive it, you see. We just can't emphasize strongly enough your awareness that you have a point of attraction and that your job is a lot simpler than you think it has been. It's not your job to stand now and sift and sort to make sure you get the right thing. You've already made sure. And it's not your job to convince anybody that you're deserving of it, because you are already deserving of it. It's already in your vortex. Your job is to chill. Your job is to find ease. Your job is to quiet your mind. Your job is to make lists of positive aspects. Your job is to do rampages of appreciation. Your job is to meditate yourself into alignment. Your job is to bask in the deliciousness of your life. Your job is to get general enough that you stop doing that thing you've been doing that preclude you, that disallow you from receiving the inspiration, you see. So now you're starting to get a sense of what your life is about. Now your life is about receiving the inspiration. You're on your highway and you're on your way to someplace you go frequently, but now you're getting a really strong impulse to do something else instead. It defies the logic or the general pattern that you've been following, but it's a new sensation, it's a new hunch, it's a new inspiration, it's a new impulse that's so strong that you cannot deny it, because you've been practicing not denying it. You've been practicing following the rhythm that's coming into your grid, because you're beginning to trust it. You're beginning to feel more worthy. Things are starting to work out for you. You're beginning to trust your own instincts. You're beginning to understand that you have this guidance. You're beginning to know that Source is with you and knows what you want and knows the path to it. Not just the direct path, but the path that will bring you the most pleasure on the way to it. You know, sometimes the path to what you think you want isn't the most direct path. It's the scenic route. It's the scenic route that has the ability to give you more nuggets of more of the things that you wanted along the way, so that your life literally becomes one where it just unfolds. It's good, and then it's good, and then it's good, and then it's gooder, and then it's gooder, and then it's better, and then it's better, and then it's good, and then it's good, and then it's better, and then it's better, and then it's time for sleep. And then you wake up, and then it's good, and then it's better, and then it's good, and then it's better, and then it's good, and then it's better, and then it's good, because you're in that path. You're in sync with your understanding of the laws of the universe and the way that you apply them. Life is supposed to be fun for you. You're not supposed to work your way into your successes. You've already requested and they've already been given to you. Your job is to play your way into your successes, to ease your way into your successes, to allow your way into your successes, to allow your way into the revelation of them, to your revelation of them. It's a bit backwards of what you've heard, isn't it? Just work hard, keep my nose to the grindstone, apply myself, be diligent, be virtuous, be vigilant, be hardworking, apply myself. And we say, you can measure yourself as a hardworking being against other hardworking beings, and you can eke out a slightly better level of mediocrity. You can. But if you're wanting to experience the leverage that creates worlds, if you're wanting to be one of these masters that you revere, if you're wanting to live life the way those who are tuned in and tapped in and turned on do, if you want the dollars to flow abundantly to you, if you want the clear ideas to flow, if you want the music to flow through you and the art to flow through you and the vitality of your body to flow through you, there is not anything that you cannot be or do or have. And if you're not living all of the things that life has helped you to identify, then it's time for you to chill. Because you're working so hard in many cases that you're disallowing the vibration that allows what you're wanting. So you go to work and you say to your employer, I've decided to take a new tact. I've been working far too hard. I'm going to go easier. And you imagine that your employer would say, well, then I will be looking for a more diligent person. I'll be looking for someone who is willing to suffer more for the rewards that I eke out here. And you may want to say something along the lines of, well, what do you think about just giving it a try? Because I believe that I can be more effective, more productive, more efficient, and produce more for you under these conditions than under those conditions. So what do you think about giving it a try? Well, your employer may or may not, but if we were standing in your physical shoes, it is the route that we would begin to take immediately. We would not suffer our way into erroneous success because it never comes.